please raise your hand if you have a question for Jan. Kyle, go ahead.
I think there's going to be a lot of things that you're going to look at and evaluate, but you brought in two transfers with Chit Chat and Emily to have big roles on this team this year, and I get this just an exhibition, but they really stood out today, and you know how much they just kind of seamlessly fit in. Just what do you think of their performance?
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple pieces I thought we really needed to have. We just, you know, without a true point guard, you know, Addie Deal always played a combo guard, but we didn't have a true point, and Chat is just, she's got a lot of fun about her, and I think we're just scratching the surface. I think that what we can see her do, and you know, she just is just fun, right? And I think she's shifty, and she can give us some on-ball defensive presence that we need to up that. We'll talk about that later. But Emily Rodriguez is a bucket getter, and you know, the patience you have to have with Emily is, you know, just learning a new system. Emily's story is really unique, right? She was in the DR about 3 years ago, and then comes in, you know, to Florida, plays a year of high school ball, gets recruited, goes to Central Florida, and now she's here. A completely different environment, you know, especially a winter here in about a month, right? But learning to really play within a system. She's never had to do that. So we've been seeing great strides of the last, I'd say, probably a week. So if that keeps coming along, I think that they really will be really valuable moving forward for sure. And they're, you know, really great kids.
Oh,
Real quick, any injury update on either Tegan or Chit Chat?
Yeah, I haven't heard from the trainer, but it was really weird when Tegan got that kind of weird foul. She just hit her ankle, really tweaks it in a weird way. And so she was going to try to play, but she's having a hard time putting pressure on it. So kind of a freak thing. So I don't know if it was just, you know, if it'll be a one-day thing or if it's a longer day thing. We'll know a little bit more tomorrow. And then Chad, I think, was just cramping. I think it was just a really bad cramp, and at that point, you know, we didn't really need to, you know, need to get some other people minutes. But fingers crossed that they're both just a kind of a weird thing.
And overall in a game like this, I don't know, for you as a coach, what's your barometer for success in an exhibition game like this? Do you feel like you met the standards that you wanted to, or some things left out there?
Yeah, you know, I think these games, I actually channeled my memory of a Drake exhibition when I was a young coach. You know, sometimes it's just a little tough sledding, right? You know, you're just like, you can't get in a rhythm, you give up points you shouldn't give up, and then you remember that it's an exhibition game, and you got, you know, 9 new people out of 13, you know, or whatever, 14, and that's where they're just like that sometimes. So I think for me, the barometer was that a lot of the things that I was hoping to see out of certain people, I started to see. And we can start with Chit Chat and Emily with that. I think, you know, Ava, you know, she did great. I love her, believe me. But, you know, they're not 6'4" that we're going against either, right? So you can be excited, but it's also, you know, what's coming down the pike. And let's just start with, you know, in our conference with UCLA, right? But what I loved is that Ava was a lot more aggressive, and she was assertive, and she was bearing her, especially the second half. I really challenged him the first half. I was not happy with, golly, we were posting up 2 feet from the lane, and we were just being so nice, and then the whole spacing of passing was terrible. And I was like, look, we know that that's not how we do it. You gotta, and I might have owed Ava coffee. I said, if anybody gets an offensive foul, so it's Ava that gets a foul, and Hannah has her teammates back, and she's like, you owe her coffee. And I was like, it wasn't even you, you know, Ava might have forgot it. But I was just trying to instill, like, you need to dominate. And I thought the second half, like, you know, just by virtue, they don't have as much size, especially when they weren't playing. They're big. We did what we should have done. But I love how Ava runs and all the things. So I did see a lot of pieces that I liked that were better. But, I mean, I saw a lot of things that I didn't like either, you know, especially defensively.
Maddie.
I wanted to ask, what kind of went into who came in for substitutions, when you started putting them in?
Mm-hmm.
I know you said you were trying to expand the bench a little bit during the day, so what went into some of that decisions?
Well, we just kind of pre-scripted who was going to go in for who, not necessarily minute by minute. It's not like you script a play like for football, but this game is still early. Like, you're trying to get some experience when you don't have pressure. Flip this in about 10 days, you know, then it's you don't have the luxury of like, well, let's just try. we're gonna go try to get, Addie in, at this point in this position. We're gonna try to get Strim in at this bit, so we did plan that all out, especially the first half. But it's, you just need some data as a coach, and sometimes that's the hard thing, especially, the hardest thing for me is I just wish I could play every kid 50 minutes, right? They just work so hard, and you just can't do it, right? So yes, we scripted the majority of the first half, but there's not much to it other than that, just trying to get people minutes. Yeah.
Pat.
Yeah, Jen, Addie only made 2 baskets, but she led you with 5 assists and had 4 rebounds. What does that say about her game?
Well, I think that, she forced it a little bit offensively. She probably could have had maybe 8 assists, right? And I just think that's a freshman that's learning, kind of how it's going to roll. But she's a beautiful passer. She's a great passer. She can shoot it. I think she was just pressing a little bit. Look, most people, when they come in, it's the barometer is always offense and points, right? And they're just used to, taking it. And I thought she over-penetrated a couple times and got in a couple turnovers. But I thought at the end she really kind of relaxed, and you saw that beautiful distance 3. So I think you'll see her continue the trajectory. But there's nothing like experience. Taylor and Kylie, they've just been there. They understand how it works. They understand the shifts, and I hope as our young kids, they figure that out and grow, that you'll see a little bit more fluidity. But I was really happy that we got to see those last few minutes for Addie. Just for her confidence more than anything else. I mean, I know what she can do, right?
David.
I guess I know this is a smaller team that you just went against,
Yeah.
but it feels like Layla Hayes in that fourth quarter, you kind of saw her confidence ascend, and regardless if they're big or
Right.
short, I mean, she was
Right.
battling through a lot of
Yes.
contact layups. I mean,
Right.
how encouraging is that to see that
Yeah.
she got better as the game?
Yeah,
went on,
I was
too?
really happy with that. The one thing will continue Layla's trajectory is she is the sweetest, and to get her to be a little ornery in there and just to be a little bit feisty. And I thought we saw a little bit of that. She did snap, a few, and then she got a foul too, didn't she, down there trying to rebound or something? So yeah, I think that was big for her. She was pretty wide-eyed going in the first half. It was, and sucking wind, that nervous, and I think she missed a couple weeks of the season because she had a concussion. So she kind of lost a lot during that time. They always do, boy. Ava Hyde, the same thing last year. She was out for 2 weeks. She was going gangbusters, and then you miss 2 weeks, and we put in a lot of new stuff, and man, their heads are spinning. So I was really happy with that she started to show a little more, kick butt type of toughness.
You touched on it, but for the 5 newcomers, I imagine this was the most people that they've played in front of in their lives. I kind of heard chit chat in the warm-ups.
Yeah.
Looking around and,
Right.
and realizing that, just what did tonight do to kind of clear that, check that box,
Yeah.
knowing that your home court advantage is a little
Yeah,
different than most?
yeah, I think that's the greatest thing when you have this, is just they understand how, they were so proud of the, when they were committed, right? They knew all the history, but then when you get here and you get to meet the fans and you get to see that they are actually coming for, exhibitions. And I think everybody understands exhibitions. I mean, you look at a pro football game, they might be, the Philadelphia Eagles, but there's not maybe quite as many as when they're, going to play Kansas City, right? And so this is just amazing that these, this many fans come, and we just have a lot of gratitude about it. But it's fun to hear them talking about it, because a lot of times Emily, she came from Central Florida, they don't draw at all, right? So this is like, whoa. So to have this dress rehearsal is huge. It just, even like, we were trying to get subs, we got that technical, that was good for us too, right? We're not gonna mess that up again, right? So it just is, everybody needs at least one of these.
You mentioned throughout the offseason having a lot of depth this
Yeah.
year. It seemed like tonight there wasn't a drop-off no matter
Right,
who came in.
right.
I guess, did you see anyone separate themselves tonight, or was it kind of everyone played too well to
Yeah,
separate?
I think Emily shows, like, if we just gotta work on her overall, continue to understand, and then she'll be the first to tell you her defense sometimes, right? It reminded me of me a little bit as a freshman. I remember those. You think you're playing good defense and you're lunging and they drive right by you, and you just got to understand the angles and and get that down a little bit. But I thought she really did a better job of trying to play within it tonight. So I thought she really showed me she'd made some strides. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of a closer race, right? And everybody, what I love about our team, they're pushing each other, but they're for each other, right? It's such a unique thing. You know, you see your buddy go in there and soaring, and you're like, yes. So I'm proud of the young women for that's just who the Iowa culture is. But I think it's still pretty close. But I do think that you're going to see this thing, you know, kind of change as we go through. I mean, we need to improve. I believe we will improve. But we just, sometimes you just have it's almost a juxtaposition. You got Hannah who kind of knows exactly what's going on, and then you sub some lineups in there, and you know she's kind of help them with whatever defensive assignment that we're doing. So I just think patience is going to rule the day, especially for the head coach.
Two more, Ethan
All right.
and Kyle.
Journey played 11 minutes tonight. She came in for Tegan when Tegan got hurt. Was the plan to play Journey that much, and how did you feel in her?
Yeah, you know that they're pretty close. I think they both give us different things. Someone was going to go in first, right? And it was just Tegan. Tegan is experienced. She had a really good summer. It was unfortunate she got kind of that weird tweaked ankle, but they both would have gotten some minutes. I don't know if they would have just split time because Tegan can play 4 and a 3, and the 4 went in, the 4 and the 3 and the 2 do the same thing. I don't know how that maybe would kind of shook down, but we did want to get Journey some minutes. I think she's been making some nice strides too, and I thought she did well tonight. I really did. I'll go back and watch the tape. She got a lot of shots, but I thought she understood and was trying to do what our offense was. Sometimes it was just all messed up. I mean, no one was where they were supposed to be, but it's still October.
One of the hot button topics this offseason was Ava and Hannah playing on the court together. I know Hannah played some perimeter tonight. She's got a lot of baskets in the paint. Just what did you think of the spacing with them both on the floor? What do you envision it being this season?
That's going to take a while to work itself out. I mean, we just a game like this, you can't really. We could get anything you want inside. Hannah could just drive it and kiss it off the glass. She could split move, post it. Just they weren't able to stop that. So I think that they'll be really fun at the same time, whether we run that high-low look or Hannah I think took a couple threes tonight, but the game, I'm not so concerned. She missed a couple of threes. It's been looking good in practice. That'll help us if it'll hit. If she can hit, it'll really spread it out because now you got to play her honestly, and she's pretty explosive going by. But if not, we can go to that high-low look. But I think they're going to be pretty fun together. I do. I think they can really play off each other, and they're really fast, right? And I need to get our break looking a little bit more clean. Because our breaks usually been a pretty good offense for us. And it was again tonight, but I think it was a little muddier than I'd like it.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.